Hi friends, today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic. How the second house can influence your relationship life or married life. Okay, the second house, the planets in the second house, they play a very vital role in the relationship that you share with your partner. Do subscribe to this channel, and if you want personal consultation, details are there in the video description. Friends, we know that the second house is directly opposite to the 8th house in the horoscope. I'll show you a sample chart very soon. Now, how any planet sitting in the second house, I'll talk about all the 12 planets from Sun to Pluto. All the 12 planets. If you have any of the planets in the second house, how they can influence your relationship. The kind of relationship that you share with your partner. And here we are talking about the intimate relationship with your partner, which is kind of very private, secretive, and which is denoted by the 8th house. And also how planets sitting in the second house can influence your joint assets with your partner also. So all that we will discuss in today's video. Before I go to each of the planets in the second house, I would like to mention what will happen if you don't have any planet. If you don't have any planet, it's okay. You look at the second lord, the lord of the second house, where that planet is placed in your horoscope. If that planet is well placed, definitely you can accumulate wealth in life, because second house is basically the house of wealth, possessions. So if the second lord is well placed, that means you will be able to accumulate wealth in life, whether you remain single or whether you be in a relationship. So look at the second lord. You can also look at any of the planets which are aspecting the second house. That planet, especially look at the 5th aspect, the 7th aspect, and the 9th aspect of the planet. In Bhrigunandinadi Jyotish, every planet has 5th and 9th aspects and also 7th aspect. So every planet has these aspects. The 5th and 9th aspects are called the trinal aspects, and we have the 7th aspect. So these are the vital aspects which you have to look at. If any planet is casting such an aspect on the second house, that planet also will influence your relationship with your family, your wealth, your possessions in life, your values. So the second house will be influenced how wealthy you're going to be in life. So all this you have to look at if you have no planet. But here, if you have a planet in the second house, then that will directly influence the relationship that you share with your partner. So now quickly let us have a look at the sample chart. Hi friends, so you can see that this is a sample chart. This is a chart of a native who is a Leo ascendant. So this is the first house or the ascendant. In a horoscope we have 12 houses. This is the first house, second house, third house, 7th house of relationship, 8th house of intimate relationship. 12th house, and this is the first house. So this is a horoscope, okay, North Indian style. Now look at the second house. This is the second house in the horoscope. So in the second house, which planet you have, that's what you have to look at. So in the case of this native, the planet Mercury and Ketu are in the second house. These two planets will cast 7th aspect on the 8th house of intimate relationship. This is the 8th house of intimate relationship. So they will have the power to cast 7th aspect on the 8th house, and they will influence the 8th house while sitting in the second house. If Ketu is in the second house, naturally Rahu will be in the 8th house of the horoscope, because Ketu and Rahu, they are always 7th from each other. So you have to combine the results of Mercury in the second house and Ketu in the second house in order to know what sort of results the native will get if they have Mercury and Ketu in the second house of the horoscope, and how these two planets can influence the 8th house, the house of relationship or intimate relationship with partner. While in this video I'll also cover what will happen when Mercury and Ketu, if they're in the second house, how they can influence the second house of wealth, possessions, values, self-worth, family, speech and food habits, and so on. All that also I'll try to cover. So friends, now let's get started. Hi friends, if you have Sun in the second house of your horoscope, then what sort of relationship, intimate relationship you'll have with your partner? There can be ego clashes whenever it comes to maintaining intimacy with partner, or you may encounter ego clashes in your sex life with partner. It's possible. So the relationship that you share with your partner, it should be based on spiritual connection, on true love, okay, on selfless love. And it's very important to give each other due respect. Relationship should be based on mutual respect. Only then this relationship can be successful. If Sun is aspecting from the second house, the 8th house of intimate relationship with partner, it's very important to give each other space, to respect each other's identity, ambition. It's very important. It's very important to sacrifice things for each other and be spiritually connected with each other. Then only this relationship can be meaningful and you can have healthy, intimate connection with each other. There should be devotion, loyalty. There should be, mutual trust and sense of duty also towards each other. Just being in love with each other, truly. Okay. A true romantic connection is very much important in order to maintain healthy relationship with each other. Now, if Sun is in the second house, also we can say certain things about your values and your speech. If Sun is well placed, then definitely you will never compromise on morality. You will also hold on to your moral values. You will rigidly even stick to the values that have been handed down to you by your family, and you will always cling on to those values. If it is well placed, you will believe in honesty, you'll believe in discipline, structure, and you will also be somebody who will speak with honesty Your words will be words of knowledge also. And you'll be somebody who would be known for their, honesty. So if Sun is well placed in the second house, you will also be very much, you will have a, somehow you will love to accumulate wealth in life. That will be important for you in life. You may follow your father's profession, or your profession or source of income may be connected to Sun. Sun is connected to knowledge, all kinds of knowledge, because Sun is the source of all light and knowledge. Sun is anyway connected to astrology. It is connected to healthcare industry, to medicine. Sun is connected to even spiritual practices and so on. So your profession may be connected to, any sort of, that is, here means your wealth. Your wealth will come from Sun. So Sun is knowledge actually. So whenever you, and Sun is also creativity. So whenever you try to enhance your knowledge or creativity, or if you're into any field of work which is directly connected to the Sun, you can gain wealth. Your father may influence you a lot in life. All these things. If Sun is well placed, you will definitely be spiritually, soulfully connected to your family as well. And you will also be dutiful towards your family if Sun is well placed. If not well placed, there can be ego clashes with family members. Food habits. If Sun is well placed, especially in fire signs, you may like sattvic food which is, basically you may like vegetarian food and so on. If Sun is more or less well placed, you will be very disciplined about your, food, like your food habits. You'll be very particular and you'll be very disciplined with respect to, food intake. You will have meals at regular intervals and so on. So now let's move on to what will happen if you have Moon in the second house of your horoscope. From the second house, Moon will cast seventh aspect on the 8th house of your horoscope. So Moon is the planet of fluctuations that is aspecting the 8th house of intimate relationship. That means at times you'll really connect with your partner very well. So at times there'll be great emotional connection, while at times you won't be able to connect with your partner at all emotionally. It's possible. Fluctuations, ups and downs in the relationship. Sometimes great physical connection. Sometimes you may not be able to connect with each other intimately at all. Also, mood swings in the relationship, and also emotional compatibility is very important for maintaining healthy sex life with partner. There has to be emotional connection. Intuitively understanding each other is very important. If Moon is aspecting the 8th house of intimate relationship based on the desire to take care of each other, to provide nourishment to each other, then only the relationship will flourish and grow, and you will have meaningful, intimate connection with partner. Yeah, you will not be able to get intimate with somebody unless you are truly emotionally connected to them. Now, what else? If Moon is in the second house, then ups and downs in wealth. Sometimes you will be able to earn wealth, sometimes you'll have to spend a lot, so money will come and go. It's possible. Fluctuations in wealth. Your mother can be a great influence in your life. If moon is more or less well placed, then you may have a very beautiful face and a very beautiful way of talking. Your speech can be also very attractive, very pleasing. And also, if moon is in the second house, then you will be emotionally connected to not only your wealth and to your values, but you'll also be connected emotionally to your family. And yeah, great emotional connection with your family. And also, if moon is well placed. So, and food habits, you may like, if moon is well placed, you will really be emotionally connected to the food that you take. So your food also will have great emotional value for you. You'll have sentimental connections with food. It's possible. Also, your taste can keep fluctuating. Sometimes you may be interested in a certain kind of food, and then you may switch to having entirely different kind of food. It's possible. Alright. So you may love rice, milk, all these things. It's possible. Alright. Or you may love to have drinks and beverages. Now let's move on to what will happen when you have Mercury in the second house of your horoscope. From there, Mercury will cast 7th aspect on the 8th house of your horoscope. So we can say that Mercury stands for multiplicity. So having intimate connection with more than one partner is possible, or having an intimate connection with somebody who is younger than you in age. So if your partner is somebody who is younger than you in age, then it can definitely be a good thing, because you can get sexually attracted to people who are younger than you, or people who are witty. Mercury stands for wit and humor. People who are witty, people who are friendly, you may get attracted to such people. So, sense of humor is very important while even you are making out with your partner. So having good sense of humor, good sense of wit, taking recourse to jokes, role playing, laughter, having fun with each other. All that will improve the intimate relationship that you have with your partner. Traveling with your partner to different places, playing games with your partner. So all that will improve your intimacy with your partner if Mercury is aspecting the 8th house from the 2nd house. Friendship is what is something that you are looking for in the relationship. So if your relationship with your partner is based on friendship, it's really going to be a healthy, intimate connection with partner. Now, Mercury in the 2nd house, you can gain wealth from any source of income which is connected to Mercury. Alright, banking, calculations, using your sense of logic. Mercury is also connected to astrology. Mercury can be connected to short distance travels. Mercury can be connected to, it can be connected to analytical powers, to your intelligence, calculating ability, logical reasoning, observation skills, creative skills, any sort of skills. So, Mercury. So, you can gain wealth by dint of your intelligence and creativity. by dint of communication. Mercury is connected to communication, to journalism, to fiction writing, any kind of writing for that matter, or painting, any sort of creative skills or communication. Wealth can be connected to that. Also, your values now. Your values, you can definitely, I can say that you will definitely, follow those things which are logical, because Mercury makes you very logical. So all your values and principles will be based on your logic, on your reasoning ability and observation. You will not blindly follow anything that has been handed down to you by the previous generation. Because Mercury gives you that desire to question things also. Now, also, you may be connected to your younger siblings. It's possible. You may have a friendly relationship with your family members if Mercury is well placed in the second house. Food habits. You may not have food at one go. You may have little bit and then keep it and have later on. So you may like to have food also in installments. It's possible. So all these things, if Mercury is well placed, you may like vegetarian food. Your speech, if Mercury is well placed, your speech will be based on your level of intelligence. So you will speak on the basis of your observation, your logical reasoning and intelligence. If Mercury is well placed, in good dignity, you can be a very good communicator. You can have great communication skills as well. Now let's move on to what will happen if you have Mars in the second house of your horoscope. From the second house, Mars will cast 7th aspect on the 8th house of intimate relationship with partner. Ups and downs in relationship with partner. Quarrels, arguments with partner, especially during intimate moments with partner. Suddenly you may end up quarreling with each other, or maybe you got drawn to each other very deeply and you were passionately involved with each other, but suddenly something happened, some disagreement or some argument suddenly came up, and you get a little detached from each other, because Mars can cause ups and downs in the relationship. It's possible. Now try to avoid conflicts with your partner, especially conflicts and arguments. They can ruin the intimacy that you have with your partner. Instead, you should absorb the energy of Mars in a positive way. Mars is also connected to desire, to great passion for each other, physical desire for each other. So your intimate relationship should be based on great passionate connection, great physical attraction and passion for each other. So as long as that passion is alive, that physical desire for each other is alive, the intimate relationship that you share with your partner is going to be very healthy. It can also show getting aggressive in bed. That's also possible. And passionate connection, physical attraction is very much important in the relationship. Now, Mars is in the second house. We have to remember, from there it was casting aspect on the 8th house, but actually it's in the second house of wealth. So ups and downs in accumulating wealth. You may have to face challenges and then overcome those challenges. Okay, learn from your mistakes, undergo some transformation, and then you'll be able to earn wealth. It's possible. You may be able to earn wealth if you're engaged in routine work, if you're disciplined, structured, hardworking, ambitious, then definitely you can earn wealth. If you have competitive spirit, you can earn wealth. You also, sometimes you may enter into quarrels and arguments with family members. It's possible. You may hurt people with your speech because you always believe in talking on the basis of your arguments and logical reasoning, so you may end up hurting others' feelings. So be careful. So yeah, and food habits. You may like spicy food, hot and spicy food. Alright. So your values. Now if Mars is well placed, you can be competitive in nature. You can be very ambitious in nature, very hardworking also. Now let's move on to what will happen when you have Venus in the second house of horoscope. From there, Venus will cast 7th aspect on the 8th house of intimate relationship with partner. Wow, if Venus is well placed in the second house, then definitely it can show that you can have a wonderful relationship with partner which is based on physical attraction and also the desire to take care of each other. Okay, Venus aspecting a very good or healthy, or I can say a well-placed Venus aspecting the 8th house can also show that your partner will definitely, try their best to provide you, to give you pleasure in those intimate moments, or like the intimacy that you have with your partner. It can improve if both of you have a tendency to take care of each other and give pleasure and happiness to each other. Then your intimacy or intimate relationship will improve day by day. If Venus is well placed in the second house, then definitely there will be a mutual desire to make each other happy, to give each other pleasure in the relationship, which is going to be very positive for the relationship and which will enable the relationship grow and develop. And day by day, it will be a beautiful relationship which will lead you to prosperity also. If Venus is, casting a benefic, like if a positive Venus is aspecting the 8th house. So yeah, also we can say that, what else? You can also have a very cordial relationship with your in-laws or partner's family. Okay, your joint assets can improve and you can become prosperous in life, wealthy in life because of the shared joint assets with partner after you're in a committed relationship with them. Also, if Venus is in the second house, then you can really be wealthy and prosperous if Venus is well placed in life. You can gain wealth from any source of income which is connected to Venus. Venus is connected to knowledge, healing. Venus is connected also to even, taking care of others, nursing even. Venus can also be connected to beauty. Venus is connected to cosmetics, to showbiz industry, to the world of illusion. Venus can also be connected to creativity, any sort of creative skills. It is connected to even the finance sector, even business and so on. So wealth can come from any of these sources. Also, you may really love to follow your family's tradition. You may love your family members a lot. It's possible. If a benefic Venus is aspecting the 8th house, then you will also, your partner will be somebody who will definitely be somebody who will be very loving, very caring. It's possible. And and your food habits. You may love food which is well garnished, well served, on the plate, beautifully served. Food which is beautifully cooked. And you may also like to have food, in restaurants. It's possible. You may like to have food in beautiful resorts and restaurants. That's possible. And you may definitely have an inclination towards luxury, towards good food. It's possible. If Venus is in the 2nd house, your speech, the way you speak, it can be very pleasant and attractive. You may be very good looking. You may have an attractive, beautiful face also, if Venus is in the 2nd house. Now let's move on to what will happen when you have Jupiter in the 2nd house of horoscope. If you have Jupiter in the 2nd house, it will cast direct 7th aspect on the 8th house of intimate relationship with partner. That means your sexual appetite can get heightened. It's possible. Jupiter is aspecting the 8th house of intimate relationship and even sex life. And but then if Jupiter is well placed in the 2nd house, then it can show that you will have a wonderful, intimate connection with your partner if the relationship is based on mutual trust. And if both of you treat each other with respect, if both of you are loyal to each other, dutiful to each other, accountable to each other in the relationship, then you're going to have a very meaningful relationship with each other. It's very important to respect each other. If Jupiter is casting aspect on the 8th house of intimate relationship, so the more you respect your partner, and if your relationship is really based on mutual respect, the more you respect, the more your relationship is based on mutual respect, the more intimate you will get, and you will have healthy intimate connection, alright, which can grow and develop over time also. So also you may be fortunate enough to have joint assets with your partner after marriage or after you're in a committed relationship. You can accumulate joint resources with partner, which will enable you to become fortunate and prosperous in life. It's possible. Now, if Jupiter is in the 2nd house, then definitely we can say that you will be able to gain wealth if Jupiter is more or less well placed. Your wealth will increase and you'll be able to amass a lot of wealth in life and become prosperous and fortunate. If Jupiter is in the 2nd house of values, you will believe in justice. You will believe in, being morally righteous. You'll believe in gaining knowledge. Your speech also will be based on your knowledge and wisdom and balanced sense of judgment. So, within your family also, People will turn to you for advice, it's possible, suggestions. You can have a very, wonderful relationship with your family members if Jupiter is well placed. You will have a sense of duty towards your family members, and there'll be growth, expansion within the family. And people in the family also can get fortunate with, in life. And because of your family, you may get fortunate in life as well. As far as food is concerned, you may like, if Jupiter is well placed, you may like food which is a vegetarian, it's possible. Or you will be very, careful about the food you take. So, because Jupiter is knowledge and wisdom, so you will choose your food wisely, food which is good for you, good for your health, and so on. Now let's move on to what will happen. What else? Okay, I hope I have covered all the planets from Sun to Jupiter. Yeah, so now we are going to move to Rahu. What will happen if this planet of mystery is in the second house? Oh, I'm so sorry. I have to mention Saturn. Before going to Rahu, I have to talk about Saturn. I'm sorry. What will happen if you have Saturn in the second house of horoscope? Saturn will cast 7th aspect on the 8th house of intimate relationship. Now, if relationship has to be based on responsibility, mutual responsibility, okay, serious commitment, otherwise there can be distance, some distance can set in. You may get distance from your partner. Your partner should be somebody who's truly mature. They may be older than you in age, but they should be someone who's really mature. Alright? Then only this relationship is going to last. They should be seriously committed to you. And even you should be seriously committed to them. Then only you can have meaningful, intimate connection with each other. Alright? You should travel together to foreign lands. You may get drawn to somebody who belongs to a foreign culture. So all that is good for the intimate relationship with partner. Either the person can be from a foreign culture, or they can be somebody who's very mature, who's older than you in age, who's very responsible and seriously committed to you. Now, a relationship should be based on commitment and a sense of justice. You have to do justice to your partner in the relationship. Okay, so that's very important. And when you do justice to your partner, they will also do justice to you in the relationship. Okay, so that is very important in the relation. And then only this relationship can last. If there is commitment, serious commitment, there shouldn't be any breach of trust. That's very important. And also, what else? A sense of responsibility for each other, as I mentioned. Now, if Saturn is in the second house, from there it was casting aspect on the 8th house. The second house it's sitting, so you may be able to earn wealth later on in life, say after you attain the age of 35. So after that you will start earning wealth in life, it's possible. Alright. You will start accumulating wealth after that. Okay. Saturn will give you wealth if you are disciplined, structured, hardworking, diligent, if you're patient, perseverant in your work, then Saturn will give you wealth in life. And your profession may be connected to any field of work which is connected, that is your source of income, may be connected to any field of work which is connected with Saturn. Underground mining, heavy machinery, technology. Okay, so your work may be connected to foreign lands, foreign clients. So all that is connected to Saturn. You may also be interested in charity. You may also be interested in, helping people out. If you have a well-placed Saturn in the second house. But nevertheless, you will be able to accumulate wealth if you are hardworking and goal-oriented. You have to set long-term goals also in career, and you will be able to earn wealth. You may invest in long-term policies, long-term funds. Invest in them, and over time you will be able to gain wealth. Your family, you may be somehow away from your family, it's possible. Or if you live with them, you may not get along with them well. That is possible. You may feel detached from them. Or you may live in a foreign land, away from them. You may like food which has been kept in the refrigerator, and then you will take it out next day and have it. Food that was cooked the previous day or a couple of days back. You may like such food which is cold, preserved, refrigerated. It's possible. Alright. You may also like food which belongs to different cultures. So all that. Your speech, if Saturn is well placed, you will take responsibility for your words. You may not like to speak much if Saturn is more or less well placed. But whenever you will speak, you will always use your analytical skills. You will take responsibility for your words, and you will speak on the basis of your sense of, you have a sense of justice. You have a sense of judgment. So whenever you speak, you may at times get judgmental also when you talk or speak to others. But if Saturn is well placed, you will make sense, and you will exhibit your ability to analyze things deeply, and you will also talk in a very responsible manner, though you may not like to indulge too much in talking. That's also possible. So all these things we can say if Saturn is in the second house of your horoscope, and from there it will cast 7th aspect on the 8th house. Okay friends, if you have Rahu in the second house, what will happen? If you have Rahu in the second house, that means you have Ketu in the 8th house of intimate relationship with partner. Ketu in the 8th house of intimate relationship is not a very desirable planet, because Ketu is the planet of distance, separation also. Now Ketu will want you to have a very deep-rooted spiritual connection with your partner. When both of you are able to connect with each other intuitively on a spiritual level, then this relationship will be successful. There's no room for, infidelity or breach of trust. No. If that is the case, then this relationship will not survive. Because, some detachment will set in, and some distance will set in, and somehow both of you won't be able to, ever get intimate with each other in a meaningful way. Because Ketu demands devotion in the relationship. Because in the 8th house you have Ketu now. Okay? So, only if there is total fidelity, total loyalty, if there is transparency, if the relationship is based on, the desire to sacrifice your own happiness for the sake of the other. So that desire, your partner also should have that desire to serve you, and you should also reciprocate. Only then this relationship will be successful. And if your partner is somebody who's truly spiritual and who values the spiritual connection that they share with you, then definitely both of you can have a meaningful relationship, and the kind of intimate relationship that you have also can be meaningful. If your partner, really values this relationship as being a very, wonderful spiritual bond, then yes, that's deep-rooted spiritual connection is important. Then you can also have meaningful, intimate relationship. So spiritual connection is very important in the relationship. That is the desire to sacrifice your own happiness for the sake of your partner. And your partner also should have the same feeling. Then only this relationship will grow. Otherwise, no. Now, if you are in a relationship with somebody who belongs to a foreign culture, it could be good actually. If you are undertaking travel to a foreign land with your partner, can also improve your relationship, your intimate relationship with your partner. Nevertheless, there can be ups and downs in the relationship, challenges which you have to overcome, and your relationship may undergo some transformation over time. But you should not give up on each other. Okay? Don't give up, and just believe in the fact that you are spiritually connected to each other. Then only this relationship will work. So when you have Ketu in the 8th house, so it mentioned that Rahu is in the 2nd house. So you may love food which is, of foreign culture. Like if you're an Indian, you may like Chinese food, for example. Okay, the way you eat also can be very unconventional. You may eat at weird hours of the day, it's possible. Unconventional food habits, sudden gain in wealth or sudden loss of wealth, anything if Rahu is in the 2nd house. Gaining wealth from occult, psychology, from any field of work which is connected with mystery, secrecy, hidden things, research, investigation. So all that will enable you to gain wealth. Okay? Nevertheless, you'll be ambitious about gaining wealth in life. You'll have great desire to gain wealth. Rahu is well placed. You'll have great intellectual capabilities as well, if it is well placed. And by dint of that, you can gain wealth. Rahu is also connected to showbiz, the world of showbiz. Okay. It is connected to the world of illusion also. So if your profession is connected to any of that, you can gain wealth. And Rahu is definitely connected to the occult. Now you may somehow get distanced from your family. Your family may live in a foreign land away from you. It's possible. Okay. And all these things. Your personality, the way you speak can be very unique, unconventional, very attractive. You may be able to attract people with your speech. Your face also can be very attractive. You may have a very unconventional look. It's possible. Now let's move on to what will happen if you have Ketu in the second house. If you have Ketu in the second house, you have Rahu in the 8th house of intimate relationship. Alright. So what can we say? So definitely there can be great attachment or attraction in the relationship. Your partner also can be very much attached to you. It's possible. You can also have, great sexual desire, because Rahu can heighten sexual desire, and this attraction or attachment for each other, this physical attraction in the relationship is very vital. That will enable you to maintain healthy, intimate relationship. But yes, Rahu can leave you unsatisfied also, because Rahu is endless hunger. So both of you may definitely, you have Rahu in the 8th house, you will get intimate with your partner. So, but then you may not be fully, satisfied. It's possible, because Rahu can heighten that desire, and that's why if you're not fully satisfied with your partner, you can maintain secretive relationship with someone outside your committed relationship. It's possible. You have Rahu now in the 8th house. You have Rahu. So traveling to a foreign land will definitely improve your relationship. The kind of intimacy that you have with your partner will improve if you travel to a foreign land. And all these things. If you are in a relationship with somebody who belongs to a foreign culture also, it's good actually for the relationship. Now when you have Rahu in the 8th house, that means I mentioned that Ketu will be in the 2nd house. So you could be a little detached to wealth, while your partner may be very ambitious about wealth in life. You may be a little detached to wealth. It's possible. Or you may be able to gain wealth through any sort of work which is connected to Ketu. If you follow the profession of your ancestors, you can gain wealth. If you're into occult, healing practices, spiritual practices, psychology, you can gain wealth. If you're into medicines and healing, healthcare industry, you can gain wealth. If you're into investment business, you can gain wealth. Anything which is connected to Ketu, technology, chartered accountancy, law, surgery, medical science, research, investigation, you can gain wealth from all of that or any of that. Initially in life, maybe you have encountered certain inhibitions in speech, maybe it's possible. Or whenever you speak, maybe you make pauses, because Ketu can cause breaks. So you make a pause and then you speak. Make a pause, think, and then you speak. Possible. Or whenever you speak on the basis of your own analytical abilities, your logical abilities, your ability to, go to the depth of things and analyze things, and then you speak. It's possible if Ketu is well placed. You may be physically or somehow detached with your family. Okay, you may live in a foreign land, so you may go away from your family. It's possible. Foreign land may be a different state within the same country where the culture is different. Food. You may, whenever you go to have some food, you may not be able to finish it at one go. You may take breaks also in completing your food. That's possible. You may make a lot of pauses while having food. It's possible. Or you may love vegetarian food a lot if Ketu is well placed. So all these things we can say. But you will not be somebody who's very materialistic. So continue to, be spiritual and continue to believe in charity. You should be charitable also. Then you'll be blessed by the divine with prosperity in life. Okay. So all these things we can say if Ketu is in the second house. Now let's move on to what will happen if you have Uranus in the second house of your horoscope. Yes, Uranus in the second house. We have come to the outer planets. These outer planets also, they really, impact our horoscope a lot. That's what I've seen. So Uranus in the second house, it's casting 7th aspect on your 8th house of relationship, intimate relationship. So that means suddenly you may develop any sort of intimate relationship with somebody, or relationship with your partner, the intimate relationship which can undergo ups and downs. Okay? So very unpredictably, both of you may suddenly get attracted and may have a desire to, make love. So it's possible because Uranus is the planet of unpredictability and it is in your 8th house. 8th house of intimacy. So whenever you make out with your partner, it will be sort of unplanned and unpredictable. It's possible. Uranus, because it's aspecting, from the second house, it's aspecting the 8th house. If you're into a relationship with somebody who belongs to a foreign culture, it's good for the sort of intimate relationship that you have with them. So, because you have a desire to get intimate with somebody who belongs to a foreign culture. So if your partner actually belongs to a foreign culture, it's, healthy for the relationship. Now, Uranus in the second house aspecting the 8th house. Definitely, it's very important to, give space to each other in the relationship. Then only this relationship will last. It's important to give each other space. So, it's important to give each other, the room to grow as an individual. Okay, that's very important. Giving each other space is important in the relationship. And it's also important to connect with each other with passion. So whenever you connect, you should connect with each other with a lot of passion and desire. Then only this relationship will work. And also, making love to each other in unconventional, creative ways, in unpredictable, unforeseen ways. So that will keep that spark alive and the relationship can work. So it's very important to, make the relationship, especially the intimate relationship that you have with your partner, it should be exciting for both of you. So there should be, it should make sure that there is always some newness. There's always a desire to, start afresh, anew, to make things creative, unconventional. Then this relationship will work with your partner. Now, if Uranus is in the second house, actually, it can show sudden gain of wealth or even sudden loss of wealth. It's possible. Uranus generally is, it rules the sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius pretty much has the energy of Rahu. So unpredictability. Now, unpredictably, you can gain wealth also, or it can happen otherwise. But you will always gain wealth from anything which is connected with Uranus. Uranus is connected to the occult. Uranus is connected to healing, to research, investigation, to technology, to scientific investigation. Uranus is connected to even psychology, to all sorts of healing practices and occult practices. So if your profession is connected to any of this, you can gain wealth. Uranus is connected to in-depth research, investigation. It is the planet of intellectual capabilities, analytical abilities. So by dint of your intellectual depth and analytical powers, you can gain wealth. Okay. Your food habits. You may like food that belongs to foreign culture, a very unconventional way of having food. It's possible. Your values also can be unconventional. You will not follow what is handed down to you by tradition. You will question everything. And you will all follow only whatever you think is meaningful and logical. Okay, because you believe in observation and logic. So all these things, if you're into any field of analysis, research, investigation, any field of, intellectual, any field which is connected to the use of analytical powers or intellectual powers, if your profession is connected to any such field, you can gain wealth. So all these things we can say if Uranus is in the second house. Now let's move on to what will happen when you have Neptune in the second house. So from the second house, Neptune can cast 7th aspect on the 8th house of intimate relationship. So it's very important to, surrender to each other in the relationship, to be spiritually connected to each other, to be devoted to each other, to make love in a creative way, then this relationship will be successful. So creativity in love making, letting go of each other's follies and mistakes, forgiving each other, and it's like surrendering to each other with a sense of devotion, ever ready to sacrifice your happiness for the sake of your partner. So when one is ready to sacrifice their happiness for the sake of their partner, so all these qualities should be there in you and your partner. Then if Neptune is in the second house, it's casting 7th aspect on the 8th house. Your intimate relationship with your partner will be successful. Traveling to a foreign land, settling down in a foreign land can improve that sort of intimate relationship with your partner, or the kind of intimacy that you share with your partner can improve if you travel or settle down in a foreign land. If you're compassionate to each other, if you're forgiving, generous, kind-hearted, merciful to each other, then definitely this relationship will work. Otherwise, that means there should be spiritual connection. Otherwise, you may get distanced from each other. If there is no spiritual connection, then it can be suffocating with the person. When Neptune is aspecting from the second house, what you need is a person who's understanding and who's committed to you, and you should also be devoted to them. Okay, then only this relationship will last. If there is intuitive connection, when you intuitively understand each other, then only this relationship will work. If Neptune is in the second house of wealth, you can gain wealth from healing practices, even occult practices, any sort of practice or work which is connected to even investigation, research, technology also. Neptune is connected to creativity, any sort of creativity or creative skills. Neptune is also connected to analytical skills, to investigation also. It is also connected to occult, healing, and so on. Neptune is connected to the desire to be associated with charitable organizations. So whenever you are kind-hearted, whenever you are compassionate to the poor, to the downtrodden, you will receive divine blessings. So you should be charitable to the poor, to the weak. And then over time, your wealth and resources will increase. You can gain wealth from any field of creativity, occult, healing, even technology, or investments. You can gain wealth from investments. Any sort of investments, even chartered accountancy, any sort of profession wherein you need to maintain confidentiality, secrecy, any sort of knowledge which is hidden or occult that can enable you to gain wealth. So all these things we can say. Your family members also, they may be forgiving, large-hearted. You also should let go of their mistakes and should develop a spiritual connection with your family. That's very important if you have Neptune in the second house. So yeah, now let's move on to the final planet, Pluto. Generally Pluto is in the second house. Generally Pluto does not have a proper 7th aspect. generally Pluto, doesn't cast that sort of aspect. But even then, what results you will get if Pluto is in the second house of wealth, possessions, self-worth, family, speech. So, you will gain wealth after you have undergone trials, tribulations, challenges, obstacles in life. They will transform you. Your adversities will transform you. So as a result of that transformation, you'll have to learn the lessons, and then you'll be able to gain wealth. Pluto rules the sign of Scorpio. So if your profession is connected to occult, healing, if it is connected to technology, investigation, even investments, coding, any form of technology, you can gain wealth from these sources. Any field of in-depth research, investigation, gaining in-depth knowledge about things can enable you to gain wealth in life. Now, Pluto in the second house, there can be some power dynamics at play within the family. It's possible. Okay. In your family, some members may have a desire to control the others. It's possible. So your relationship with your family also can undergo a lot of transformation and changes. And your food habits, everything. So initially you were taking a certain type of food. Eventually you will realize that you need to make changes in your food habits and bring about a positive transformation. That's possible. So, Pluto in the second house of values and self-worth. You will gain self-worth in life if you have the courage to face challenges and adversities and overcome those challenges, learn from your mistakes. Then your life will undergo transformation and you'll be able to gain wealth as a result of this positive transformation in your life. Pluto in the second house, some changes are going to come about in the equation that you share with your family, changes in your wealth. So when Pluto is there, it is very important to be ready to embrace changes, positive changes. When Pluto is there, you'd really need to use your sense of intuition in money matters. Be very intuitive in spending money. In dealing with your money, you have to be intuitive. If Pluto is in the second house. So, Pluto is also a planet which demands serious commitment. So, relationship with your family, relationship, with your family members can improve if you are truly committed to them. That is, committed to your family, to your parents, committed as a son or daughter. So that serious commitment should be there, and that ability to intuitively understand the family members. Then you'll be in a position to you'll be in a position to, that is, in-depth understanding is important. Intuitive connection. Only then, you'll be able to have a healthy relationship with your family. There has to be in-depth understanding. There has to be spiritual connection. Then only you can have a meaningful relationship with your family. Yeah, so all these things we can say when Pluto. So wealth will come to you, but you will have to be ready to go to the depth of things, acquire knowledge, or you'll have to be ready to, you have to be ready to, embrace challenges and obstacles and learn from mistakes and start anew. You have to be ready to embrace transformation and changes. When Pluto is in the second house, then you can grow in life. Then you'll be able to definitely amass wealth, which can come from any profession which is connected to Pluto or 8th house, because the sign of Scorpio is in the natural 8th house of the horoscope. So yeah, all these things we can say when you have Pluto in the second house of your horoscope. So definitely wealth can come if you really make sincere efforts to go to the depth of things, analyze things, do research, investigation. If you get into occult, healing, psychology, spiritual practices, meditation, yoga. So from any of these fields you can gain wealth, or any profession which is connected to investments or coding. So any sort of coding, any sort of code or language, if profession is connected to that also, you can gain wealth. So yes, all these things we can say if Pluto is in the second house of your horoscope. There can be ups and downs in your relationship with family. Relationship with family may undergo ups and downs. So yeah, so all these things we can say about each of the planets, each of the 12 planets, what will happen if they are in the second house of the horoscope. So most of the planets from Sun to Neptune, if they're in the second house, they will cast 7th aspect on the 8th house. So how they will influence your intimate relationship with partner, all that I've tried to cover in today's video. Do subscribe, and if you want consultation, do get in touch with me through WhatsApp. Details are there in the video description. And friends, before I wind up, please believe in charity. You should be kind, merciful, compassionate to the poor, to the downtrodden, to the weak, to the unprivileged, and the divine will always bless you. You should be kind to animals, birds and creatures, and you should try to be a vegetarian as well, because these innocent creatures, they too have the right to live. So with these kind words, I wind up today's video. See you next time, friends. Till then, take care. Bye.